Welcome back to Grammar Down Under. Today we're going to do a punctuation lesson. And it's an important punctuation lesson because it ties in with what you're doing in your poetry for Year 8 English, which is Indigenous poetry. Everybody in Year 8 will be studying that this term. All poems have titles, as do books and films, magazines, articles, essays and so forth. Anytime a title is used, you must punctuate it correctly. And it's very, very easy to get that right. So let's go through how you would do that. The rules. Very simple. No matter what's in your title, the first and last word have to have a capital letter. That's simple. No matter what those words are. The second one is that the itty-bitty words, like prepositions and articles, and that's why I taught you the 8 parts of speech, so you know what a preposition and an article is, have no capitals. And you must be aware that it's not a matter of, I just use capitals for every word in a title. That's not correct. The correct punctuation of a title is that you have capitals for the first and last. You have capitals for nouns, verbs, adjectives and adverbs. Remember those words? Those other 8 parts of speech. But you don't need them for prepositions and articles and sometimes conjunctions like and we'll talk about that down here. There's always a little exceptions in English, I can tell you. So let's look at how we punctuate these 3 titles. Everyone should have heard of these films, books, plays. The Planet of the Apes. That is an article, and it says no capitals for an article, but remember it's overruled by the fact that the first word in a title must have a capital, even if it's an article. So that is correct. Capital T for the. Planet is a noun. It has to have a capital. Of the are prepositions and articles. And because they're not the first and last word in the title, they do not have a capital. They're those little connecting words, and they look pretty silly if you actually give them a capital. Apes is a noun. It's a capital. It's also the last word in the title, so it has to have a capital. So let's run through those basic rules for titles. The first word always has a capital, even if it's an article, a pronoun, preposition, doesn't matter. Nouns have capitals. Prepositions of, don't. Articles don't. The last word, and this last word is a noun, does. Let's look at the next title. Of, mice and men. That's a play we do in grade 11. Of is a preposition. Prepositions, it says, don't have capitals. But remember, this is the first word in the title, so it has to be a capital O. Mice is a noun, capital, and is a conjunction. Remember those fanboys I've talked about in our grammar lessons? It does not require a capital. Rarely do conjunctions have capitals in titles. So that is correct, a lowercase a. Men has a capital because it's a noun and it's the last word in the title. Last one, the Lord of the Flies. First word is an article, but it's the first word, it still has a capital. Lord is a noun. Of is a preposition, so no capital. The is an article, no capital. Flies is a noun, so it has a capital. Pretty easy rules, aren't they? The other thing I have to tell you about punctuating them is that if you are handwriting something, you have to do something extra to that title. Particularly if it's not at the beginning of your essay, if it's in the story or the essay that you're writing, you must put the titles handwritten, either in inverted commas, or you can underline them. You have to pick which one, but you only need one. If you're word processing, you don't use inverted commas or underline, you put them in italics. So it differentiates titles from the rest of your text. and it tells the reader this is something that doesn't belong to me. It's the title of a book, a poem, a magazine, a film, a song. Anything that has a title must be punctuated in this way. So I'll set some examples or some exercises for you to do with your teacher. But remember, it's not just something to think, oh, I don't care about the titles. Who cares about them? It's very important that you pay close attention to how a title is punctuated. Thanks.